My name is Michelle here. I'm an Associate State Director with AARP Florida. I work out of our St. Petersburg office generally, except as you can see, I'm working remotely today, as are many of our other staff members. Today, we have a wonderful presentation that a volunteer is going to be giving to us in terms of helping us protect our pocketbook and save some money. Maybe it's for retirement or travel. Whatever your idea of what your retirement is or your savings are going to be for you, Bob's going to tell us a little bit more about how we can save a few pennies here and there. In the presentation that he's going to be sharing with us, these are highlights from the August edition of the AARP Bulletin. It comes from the feature story, 99 Ways to Save. And joining us today, Bob Bush, longtime AARP Florida volunteer. He is a driver safety instructor, a tax aid counselor, and also a member of AARP Florida Speakers Bureau. With no further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Bob.
Thank you, Michelle, for that nice introduction. As she said, my name is Bob Bush, and I do live in the Tampa Bay area of Florida, and I am a volunteer in many aspects that were face-to-face until the COVID hit. So when we are sequestered at home and virtual communication is becoming more and more of a normal for us, we decided, myself and Michelle, that we would develop some virtual presentations that we could send out to AARP members, volunteers, and other interested parties about things that retired people or people that are approaching retirement might be interested in. So that's what today is all about. If Michelle, if you would open the PowerPoint, please. The title of this is 20 Ways to Save. As Michelle indicated, it's based on a bulletin from the AARP. This is part 4 of a 4-part series. It basically is the roadmap to financial well-being, as you see from the picture there. And I'm going to present this particular aspect. We will be offering the other 3, a 4-part sequence coming up in September. So slide please. This is a volunteer prepared presentation. It's not an official AARP resource. And it's for your information only. Please don't take it as financial advice. I don't mean it to be such, and so don't go out and make any financial decisions based on what we talk about. It's information only. And it is taken solely from the AARP Bulletin. And it's an extraction. Slide, please. As you can see in the right-hand picture here, this is what the bulletin looks like. It's 99 Ways to Save. It is the July-August version of the bulletin. And I've taken, out of these 99 ways to save, I've taken 20 that I think are universal to most of us in the retirement or pre-retirement or post-retirement age groups. And I focused on those. So if I would encourage you to go and get a hold of the bulletin and look at all 99, there's some very interesting ways of saving money in there. But for time's sake, I've reduced it down to just 20 ways to save. Let me make a comment to begin with. Some of these may seem slightly simplistic, but I want you to look at the whole, the group as a whole. There are some very good ways of saving money that if you apply all of them, you can add some substantial monthly savings to your ability to be on the road to financial stability. Slide, please. This is a slide indicating a good source of resources for you. This is the AARP main website, aarp.org. If you just type it in your browser window, you're going to get this. And if you look at the upper yellow arrow there, there's a point to the menu. If you click on that menu, you're going to get this sidebar over here. The left-hand arrow is pointing to. And in there, you'll find scam, fraud, retirement, Social Security, travel, money, all sorts of interesting articles that provide you information about how to save money in your retirement years and how to live more productively on a fixed income. Slide, please. Specifically, if you're looking for the newsletters, if you go on to that same website, aarp.org, and the upward pointing arrow that says member benefits, and you'll get this drop down here, which you'll see at the bottom of the screen, and it says newsletters and publications. You click on that, and goodness gracious, there's more information you could ever want to get than I could possibly read that you can find here. You can sign up for newsletters, bulletins, daily emails. There's all sorts of interesting things there. So I would encourage you to take a look at that also. But that's where you can get a copy of the bulletin. And it does come both in a printed format and you can get it electronically online. We get both of them in our household. And my wife and I read them from cover to cover. Here is our agenda. You can take a glance down here. We're going to talk about the life cycle of financial wellness. And then I've divided these 99 tips and I've extracted 20. I've divided them into groups more or less along the line of the bulletin. And they are shopping, high tech, home maintenance, money, savvy shopping, new savings habits, potpourri, which is kind of a lump of combination of things that have no other category. And then we'll have time for a discussion, or in this case, it would be questions that you may chat. And Michelle is monitoring the chat window, and she can then tell us what the questions are, and we can try to address those. Slide, please. This is what I consider the life cycle of financial wellness. It's clockwise and it's in a circle. Well, I put it in a circle because it's a never-ending cycle. Now, if you look, we start at the green square, financial well-being. That's where we want to be. Hopefully. And if we go into the clockwise to the right, it says first one is plan and budget. And this is part one of our series. I've termed it Roadmap to Your Future. And going continue clockwise down towards the bottom, that would be part two, reduce debt. Here, we're going to talk about controlling debt, how you check your credit rating, how you freeze your credit, various ways to get out of debt. If you're not able to eliminate or reduce your debt, you're never going to be in a state of financial well-being. Moving over to the left now, upwards, clockwise. Part three is save and protect. This is some ways that if you get yourself out of debt, you'll find you'll have additional savings, ways to place those in a secure account, so forth, and ways to protect you from fraud. That's very important. Finally, we come around to where the red arrow is here, and that's where it's more of a adjunct here. We're going to put that into the site, and this is what the part four is, the lesson on 20 ways to save money. Slide, please. All right, most of us live on a fixed income. I certainly do. And we have income, and having done years of taxes for seniors as a tax aide, free taxes for seniors. If you haven't used that program, you should. It's a very good program. You come in with your paperwork, you sit down with one of the counselors, and you walk out the door. You have been filed electronically, and you're all ready to go. You have a copy in your hand. So I would recommend you use that. But most people have retirement from working, some small or some larger, Social Security, and some investments. Critical thing which I haven't read here is savings. Savings and reducing expenses is the most important thing to get you on the right path for financial well-being. And again, this session is about 20 small ways that collectively can save you a fair amount of money every month. Slide, please. This is tip number one in the category of shopping. Let your online shopping cart sit a while, overnight or longer. Merchants monitor what's going on in these shopping carts, and they generally, not always, but generally will, if you let it sit there, they may come in and offer you a discount. my wife is the champion of doing this. She'll sit for a day or two, and all of a sudden she'll say, well, I just got a 15% discount on what I wanted to buy by letting it sit in my shopping cart for a couple of days. And you can get some really good deals that way. Not every company obviously does that, but shop at the ones that do that. But try it and see if it works for you. Slide, please. Tip number 2, shopping. Pay for subscriptions up front. You can get a large discount generally if you pay for a yearly subscription, maybe 2 years. So things like possibly your news service, anything that does streaming TV, anything that's delivered to you automatically. Try to see if you can save some money by making a longer term subscription. For instance, you can get an AARP, a significant discount by membership by just simply signing up for a 1 year or 2 year period. And then you don't get the more or less annoying reminders in the mail. I take advantage of that, and I don't know how much exactly I save on the top of my head, but it's a fair amount. So in combination, if you do that and take advantage of these, a few dollars in your pocket is a few dollars that you have to spend on something else. Slide, please. Tip number 3, signing up for text. And these texts, I should say text or emails. Many stores now in the electronic age that we're in send their coupons and store sales and discounts to members who have signed up in their program. So try a few, stay with the best, and be a good shopper. I know some of the grocery stores, you get your coupons through a email or text now. They don't use the cut out and take to the store type of coupons anymore. And that's fairly common. Slide, please. Tip 4, this is in the category of high-tech savings. Confirm it's a sale. Just because it says a big sale doesn't necessarily mean so. If you wanted to buy a piece of electronics and you see it's on sale, a flyer or something like that, well, go online and see what the price is other places. My wife and I do this often, almost all the time. And we'll find that sometimes it's cheaper to order it online than it is to go into a brick and mortar store and buy it. And you can even get cases where the shipping is free. So be sure you look at what's going on. Just because the sign says big sale does not always mean it is the best price that you can get. Read your reviews, find out if people like it. Those are very important to find out if the product is a good product or less than desirable product. Be a smart, savvy shopper. Slide, please. High-tech savings is tip 5. Protect your phone. Most everybody nowadays has a cell phone. Buy a screen protector. You can get them for about $10. They're easy to put on the screen. It's just a piece of plastic, stick it on there and it stays. That'll protect your screen from scratches. Buy a good case. Statistics show that 30% of owners that have cell phones have a cracked screen. And if you haven't had this happen to you, it's really expensive to repair it or buy a new phone. So it might help you if you have a propensity to drop your phone a little bit. Slide, please. Home maintenance. This one seems quite simple, but I use it, or we use it at our household, and it works. Instead of running out and buying fancy mops and so forth and the things you put on the bottom of a mop to use a microfiber towels, mops, and dusters. They're washable. Take them off, throw them in the washer, reuse them. Also, use clean water. Use warm water to clean it. It's less expensive than chemicals. And probably better for the environment also. It's a chance to make lots of savings, but just look for things that are reusable as opposed to a one-time use. Big chance for savings. Slide, please. Again, in the home maintenance tip number 7. Buy concentrated cleaners in bulk. The bigger the container, the less price per ounce you pay. Save it a significant amount at club stores. And you know what these are. The big, I guess I can say the big 3. Costco, BJ's, and Sam's Club. All those require some kind of membership, but you can have some really good sales on discount items. Another one, use multi-purpose cleaners instead of specialized. You have less in your pantry. And I'll give you an example here. You can go to a grocery store in town and buy a half gallon of ammonia for about 99 cents. The last time I bought it, it was pretty inexpensive. And you can use that in bathroom cleaning, in cleaning your floors. Excuse me. Mix it with a little vinegar and you can clean windows with it instead of buying window cleaners. There's lots of ways to save, to find some, I guess you'd say, old remedies that your mother and granny used to use that work perfectly fine rather than spending money on a fancy new cleaner. Lots of savings to be had here. Next slide, please. Tip number 8, money management. Negotiate your bills. Most are slightly negotiable. Call creditors annually and ask for discounts. I know that my particular television provider and internet provider, every year I get a bill in this time of the year, and the price always goes up. And I always call them and I say to them, I'm going to go to your competitor if you don't give me my discount that you've been giving me for the last 10 years. And I always been able to get a 10 or 20% discount. There's lots of ways they can discount you. As well as if you're going into one of those club stores, you walk in and say, for instance, you walk in and say, I am a veteran. I want a veteran's discount. And sure enough, the one store that I go to most frequently, they give me a 20% discount for veterans on the membership. So shop around. Businesses want you to buy from them, so they'll compete if you talk to them. Next slide, please. Number 9, money management. This is an important one. Budget next month's spending. Build the budget, stick to it, keep it simple, compare your months, look for ways to save. Let me give you an example, a personal example. My wife and I started doing this about the time we were looking at retirement and the retirement, and we consistently do this. It's a habit. It's very natural for us now. Every cent you spend, get a receipt. Bring the receipts home. We put ours in a big bowl. At the end of the month, my wife divides them into categories. I get out pen and paper and a calculator, and then we make a budget. We have several categories like gas, auto repairs, medicine, household, electric bills, and so forth. And we compare month to month to find out where our money is going, and if we see any changes, why it's changing. If you know where your money is going, you have a chance to cut back on your spending and save. This is a very, very important step in money management, just building a budget and sticking to it. Probably the most important thing, and it's one of our major topics in our 4-part series. Number 10, money management again. Create a target savings rate. Set aside small amounts. I'm going to save 10% of my income this month to pay down my credit card debt or to save for a vacation or something like that. Set a rate, try to stick to it. It's a very, very important step in reducing your debt and giving you more disposable money to spend on things you want to spend on. Slide, please. Number 11, savvy shopping. Keep an opportunity list. I think this is an important one. I'm the chef at my house, and when we get ready, I notice that the ketchup's down to the last quart of the bottle. I'll just tell my wife or write down on the list we have in the kitchen that we need ketchup. And we just watch the sales. And when ketchup's on sale, we will go and get ketchup or go down to the club store and buy it there in 2 bottles at a relatively cheap price. Use BOGOs. I'm very thrifty person, and we go to the grocery store and buy things on BOGOs. For instance, sodas. You can buy, if you wait until your particular brand is on sale, you can often get two. You buy 2 and you get 1 free, or sometimes you buy 2 and you get 2 free. It's a very good way to stock up. So use the BOGO items often offered in most of the stores, and you'll save a lot of money. Buy things out of season. Here, I mean, the time to buy a new lawnmower is in the fall when they're on sale. The time to buy lawn furniture is in the fall when they're on sale. The time to buy Christmas ornaments, Christmas lighting, is after Christmas. Everything's half price or less. So plan ahead, and think smart and watch for sales. Slide, please. Tip 12, savvy shopping. Shop on holiday weekends. You know that those are oftentimes the very best time to buy an appliance like a new washer or dryer or stove or something that major that you need, even television and electronics. Oftentimes, your 4th of July Day or Labor Day, Memorial Day, and so forth, Black Friday are very good times to do your shopping. So plan your shopping ahead. Shop prices online to see if you can buy it cheaper, and be sure to use our senior or veterans discounts. The 2 major lumber yards in our area, I'll mention what they are, they all have veterans. I save 10% on everything I buy at the store. So instead of going to the local hardware store, I hate to say this, but I go to the major lumber yard because I save 10% on everything. Same thing with the senior discount. Most of the malls, or especially the discount malls, have 1 day a week senior day, and if you're a senior, you'll get a discount. So I don't buy anything if it's not on the senior day or with the VA discount. I just don't buy it. I'll wait until it's an appropriate time. Slide, please. 13, savvy shopping again. Shop your closet. Every few months, a good way of doing it is taking things out, lay them on your bed, sort them out, and put them back in. Be innovative with your fashion. It's not that I'm a major fashion person, but my wife does it. Just say, oh, I can wear this blouse with this pair of slacks or something like that, and come up with new wardrobe combinations. I sometimes go through my closet and say, hey, there's a brand new shirt. I forgot that I had that. So rather than go buy a new one, I'll use that one. There's this 30 wear rule, which I find quite interesting. Don't buy anything clothes-wise unless you plan to wear it at least 30 times. In other words, don't buy for fashion, buy something that's going to service yourself for some period of time. So that's a pretty good rule. I like that one. Next slide, please. 14, savvy shopping. Watch for Wednesday flyers. Most of the grocery stores have their sales start on Thursday, and the flyers will come out on Wednesday. So if you need something, instead of shopping Wednesday morning, wait until Thursday morning and get the Wednesday flyer. And again, a lot of these things are online, so you don't have to go to the store or have bought the newspaper to find the flyers. Watch for special sales, especially BOGO. There's a good chance, I talked about that opportunity list, there's a good chance to compare what you need versus what's on sale. If you don't need it very badly, wait until the next week and it might be on sale. Shop smart and save is the whole key here. Change your shopping habits to be a smart shopper. 15, new savings habits. As I said before, taken individually, each of these tips doesn't seem like much, but if you collectively put them together, you can have a substantial savings, freeing up money for you to spend on what you want to. So challenge yourself to a change in spending habits. Make a no spend or a low spend month. Commit to yourself, only buy what's absolutely necessary. Eliminate hobby shopping. And by this, I mean, there are people I know that go shopping because that's their relaxation. Try to avoid that. I have friends who are these, I'm not going to say which partner with this, watches those all night long shopping networks and buys things all the time that I think they probably don't need. So the summary on this slide is reset your shopping habits. Before you buy something, stop and think, do I need it? Is there a better way to get it? Can I get it more cheaply? Tip 16, new savings habits. Automate your coupons. I know the grocery store we go to, they don't have the cutout coupons anymore. They're automated. And I know the club store I go to, they send you can go on their website and look at all the coupons, and you simply tap on the coupon and put it into your basket, And when you go down to the store and you buy the item and you show your membership card, it automatically takes your discount. It's really handy. It's a great way of doing it. It does require a little bit more work on your part to plan ahead. But that's again the essence of this whole presentation. Plan ahead and be a smart shopper. It's a great way to save. Slide, please. 17. This is the potpourri, if you will. Comparison shop for medicines. Drug prices vary widely. I used to be a Medicare counselor and set up programs for people. And you can take some people a drug that might cost, $10 a month at one pharmacy might cost $50 at another. It's surprising how different they can be. So if you're taking any kind of medicines, shop drugs wisely. Compare your plan for available pharmacies. Some pharmacies are just less expensive on that particular item than other pharmacies. So know which pharmacies your particular drug plan authorizes you to use. If you don't like your drug plan and change during enrollment period, which is the middle of October to Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th, use online apps or mail order to save. Mail order is a really, really good way to save on medical costs of medicine. I use it extensively. I know it's from personal experience. I can save a lot of money on my medicines. So be a smart shopper for your medicines. Again, the same theme. Plan, shop smart, and you'll save money. Slide, please. Saving potpourri, number 18. Subscribe and save with chains and club stores. There are some stores that if you order something to have sent to you on a recurring basis, you really get a good price. It's a good way to do something. If you have some larger items that you routinely use and you know what your use rate is, you can set up an order and it saves you a trip to the store to deliver it home, which is good in our time of coronavirus. It's automatically delivered for you and you can watch. And I know that some of the ones that we use, if you put more than $35 into your shopping cart, your delivery is free. So, pay attention to the rules. Once again, savvy shopping is the key to saving money. Slide, please. 19, again, savings potpourri. Shop for free streaming and cut your cable bills, assuming you have cable television. Look for free offers from CARES. You see things that a certain movie group may have a 2-month free trial offer, something like some of them are 3 months free. Try them. Don't pay for them. Change your cable to the lowest level. If you're having a lot of premium channels in there, it's surprising how much those things add up. Some of the movie channels and such, how quickly it adds up to your bill. Trust me, I have reduced my bill by cutting out all the premium channels, and I live just fine without having them. Shop for different cares. You may be able to find a different cable carrier in your neighborhood, or even something like an electronic satellite dish that better suits your needs for your budget and what you want to watch, of course. Last slide, please. Savings from AARP. We're going to round up with saying, what are the benefits that AARP gives you as a member? And there are substantial savings and things that you can, discounts that you can use, offered by AARP in conjunction with various vendors around the country. If you go on the same website, aarp.org, you look at the top of the page, yellow arrow there, it says member benefits. You click on that, and you can get the next slide, please. You're going to get a slide with lots of things on it. I just summarized it here for you on this slide. It's too busy to put up on a PowerPoint slide. So you can see there's 9 of them, I think, and there's a whole lot of them here. Some of the ones I find the most useful, personally, shopping and groceries, travel. If you're going on a trip, you can possibly get discounts at hotels and such, car rentals, restaurants. There are a lot of, if you look periodically, there are various good quality restaurants in the area that I live in that'll offer a discount. For instance, you might get free hors d'oeuvre, or you might get half price dinner um, in the evening. So if you, it is a good way to save money. Hopefully, once we start going back to restaurants, and that as that moves into a less restrictive period of our lives. And there's some things like auto services. You can get discount oil changes and other things, tire rotations and such. So there's a lot of benefits there. It all depends on what you as an individual find that you use. So I would encourage you to shop those benefits. Slide, please. Summary, last thoughts. Living on a fixed income, most of us are. Set and stick to a budget. This is very, very important. That way you'll know where your money goes. Another big one, change your spending habits. It's almost a change in philosophy, like changing an eating habit or an exercise habit or a sleeping habit. Change your habit to be a savvy, smart, saving shopper. Slide, please. And again, in conclusion, use your discounts, coupons, comparison shop, research before you buy, look for the best price. It takes some effort, but it's a challenge. Make it your hobby. Make it your hobby to save money, and you'll be surprised how successful you can be with a little effort. Now, if you're home and you're a little bit bored, find ways to save money and budget your money and become a better shopper and enhance your financial stability and well-being as a retired person. Next slide, please. Well, this is the end of my presentation, so I'm going to turn it back to Michelle. And I thank you for joining us today, and I hope you learned something, and I'd encourage you to look at the AARP resources and the Bulletin. And I'll pass it off to Michelle, and she can find us some questions that someone from the audience may have asked. Go ahead, Michelle.
Thanks, Bob. That was a wonderful presentation. Tons of information, some great tips that I didn't even know about that I'm certainly going to test out because I've got kids' college funds to save up, a new car at some point, and retirement is also off in the distance, and I certainly want to be prepared for that. So these are some really helpful tips. I know that we've got viewers from all over the state joining us by YouTube, Facebook. If you do have any questions, feel free to post those into the comments section. We'll try to get to them today live. And if we don't, Bob or I will be happy to reach out to you afterwards. Let's see, some questions that we had come in. Here's one for you, Bob. Concerning medications, you spoke briefly on this. Which is best between mail order and store pickup?
It depends on the medication, but my experience as a Medicare counselor and my own personal experience leads me to believe that you can often use mail order to order in bulk and achieve some savings. For instance, I know personally I can get some 90 days worth of some of my prescriptions by mail order that would cost me the same price to get 1 month at a local pharmacy. So I use it exclusively, and when I was a counselor for Medicare, I would most often tell people to take a good look at that, and I would help them study that because there's substantial savings, because there's less handling costs and so forth. They just give you 3 months worth of the prescription, and with electronic age now of doctors sending the prescriptions in electronically, it's very easy. I find it effortless, and they just send me a new prescription. I don't even have to say anything; it just automatically comes in my mailbox.
So I think there's a follow-up question very similar to this. How do you change your pharmacy plan if you have Medicare Part D?
During the open enrollment, you can just apply to a new one, and you can pick out. It's if you go on. I don't want to get into the aspect, but if you can go on to My Medicare, there's a way to check your pharmacy prices from one pharmacy to another. It's a little more complicated than what I was saying, but you can do that, or you can just call them and ask them. But to change plans is generally pick out one that you want. You call them on the telephone and say, I want to change to this plan. They're more than happy to help you transfer from plan A to plan B because they certainly want your business. It's very easy, generally.
Great. And I know that we get a ton of questions in the fall. Open enrollment generally
Right.
starts middle of October, runs through December.
Uh-huh.
And I like to send people to the Area Agency on Aging. I think you mentioned also that you are a volunteer counselor at one
Yeah.
time. And the Area Agency on Aging has a program called SHINE, Serving Health Insurance Needs of the Elderly.
That's why I was a counselor. I didn't want to mention it until you did, but go ahead.
I have a feeling, and they're great to work with. We work with them quite well across the state. And so if you're having trouble navigating Medicare or just have questions about which Medicare Part D plan is going to work best for me, one of those SHINE counselors would be happy to help you.
If you look on the back of your Medicare book, it will tell you what the SHINE telephone number is for the zone of Florida that you live in. Call that number and you can set up an appointment with a counselor and they will talk to you on the telephone. I used to do this. They will talk to you on the telephone and then help you. They can actually look up the various pharmacy costs for your particular drug. It's very easy. It works nicely.
Great. Thanks, Bob. So here's a question that I imagine many people also have. How do you suggest handling a budget? What tools might one use?
Well, you don't have to have any fancy spreadsheet or anything else. Just use a piece of paper. That's how we generally do ours. I mean, I'd recommend, as I said, keeping a receipt from everything you spend money on, and then placing in them some sort of simple categories. Start simple. Basic categories would be food, gas. When I don't use much gas anymore because I'm not going anywhere. Food, gas, electricity, water, cable TV, medical expenses, entertainment. If people stop during normal lifetime, if people added up how much they spend on going out to eat and other things, they'd be surprised at how big of a bill that is. So you add up all those things and you make yourself a little budget on a piece of paper, back of an envelope, and you save that and compare it next month. It takes several months to begin to see a definite pattern. And you can say, well, I could cut out some of my going out to eat dinner and save money there and apply that to my upcoming vacation that I want to take, something like that. You can make this very, very easy, but it has to be a pattern of saying, I'm going to save a receipt for everything I buy, put it somewhere, sort it out at the end of the month, and then compare month to month, and it'll give you a great vision on where your money is going. If you don't know where your money is going, you can never achieve the savings level and the financial well-being that you could if you budget your money properly. Probably the biggest thing to help retired people is a budget. And it's so simple and many people don't do it.
Yeah, and I like things simple, and I'm a little more tech savvy, and so for me, what I like to do is I'm very fortunate in my my financial institute. All of my banking, my checking, my savings, and my single credit card are all with one institute. And so check with your banking institute. They may have a tool already available that categorizes it for you. And if not, I know that on your smartphones, smart devices, there are also some apps that you can upload to help you budget as well. So you've got high tech, low tech, tons of tools and opportunities to save.
Right.
Let's see. We have time for one more question, Bob. How do you find out about other 50 plus finances sessions to attend?
Well, I would refer that question over to you, Michelle, since you're the one that advertises. I'm the presenter. You're the advertiser, so I'll let you answer that one, please.
I will happily take that question, and I will actually add a little bit more to that. AARP is hosting a number of virtual events. We're not doing any in-person events through the end of 2020, but we're going to be coming to you live and pre-recorded through various platforms, Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. One way or another, we're going to keep you connected to valuable information, tools, resources, and to each other through social gatherings as well. And so you can learn more about what AARP Florida has planned by visiting the AARP Florida Facebook page or go online to the AARPFlorida.org aarp.org/Florida. They're on your screen, and we have all of our events listed there. So you can register for them. Bob hosts MoneyWise Wednesday. We also have Tech Training Tuesday with Bob, who's teaching us how to use virtual platforms such as Zoom. And we have wellness workshops, cooking classes, virtual yoga on Thursdays, you name it, a little bit of everything for anyone's interests. And so I think we are running out of time. Bob, thank you again for being with us and sharing these great resources and tips with us today.
Thanks for the time, and I'm thankful to all the people that came on and listened today, and encourage you to go out and march down the road to financial wellness in your retirement years. You can do this without, it takes a little effort, but it's a good way of ensuring your limited income is stretched farther. Thank you for attending.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, everyone, for